Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, April 5th. We're looking at Window Traders Market Profile, SPY IWMN, Triple Qs. What an interesting day. Incredibly interesting. There's a lot to talk about. Let's start with Qs. Qs and Russell certainly had what the day wanted to do a lot sooner than ES and SPY did. That's ridiculous what they did in SPY and ES, but they gave a great opportunity for some shorts. We'll go over everything in a moment. Triple Qs end with a triple distribution day. They have two sets of single prints, B and L. They also go out with a price probe and an afternoon rally high in H, and that is a textbook afternoon rally high. So I talk about afternoon rally highs a lot. Now, ours was textbook too because we went out with singles, but you need single prints to have a textbook one. And they had two sets, one above, one below. Beautiful afternoon rally high. Russell's on a respirator. What a disaster from this morning. Russell opened, got above that 209.05 level, so they got above the 9-week balance for basically a cup of coffee, and then ripped down, have an outside day down, take out last week's low, so they're back in balance on the weekly, and they're down in the daily, and they go out with a triple distribution day, as they have single prints in B, L, a price probe, and H as an afternoon rally high. Disastrous finish for Russell today. SPY and ES, we also have an outside day down. That's not good. However, we did defend, at least for today, last week's low. So the weekly is still up. The daily is in a 4-day balance because we haven't taken out last week's low, which is part of our 4-day balance. So we're in danger of taking it out, but we did not take it out yet. Plus, we did not get rejected above a 9-week balance high like Russell did. Now, as far as this morning went, we said yesterday, what was yesterday? It was a P shape. It was short covering. What didn't happen was just as important what did happen. Well, what didn't happen? We couldn't hold trend up. We had 3 or 4 opportunities for single prints yesterday, and we never held them. That's a nuance. So when we opened today, below the base of the price probe, I'm like, okay, there's no problem. I'm like, maybe buyers are done for now. And then look what we did in A and B. And again, I'm in 10-tick increments. We ripped up to the base of the price probe, actually started a short, took a short against the day's high, we took it out. Now it came back enough for me to get paid on that with the 458 put, so I was fortunate. Then B explodes above A. Takes it out by 65 cents. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, here we go. We have the afternoon rally high from the 31st. And at the time they were doing that, Qs and Russell were going down. Now, I tell the room, plain and simple, I'm not trading SPY based on Qs. And I didn't. Was this the greatest short in the world, the B's high? Of course it was. But I can't say I'm taking that short here because Qs and Russell are here in B. Just can't. I actually took a small long in B, realized it wasn't working, and got out of it. And I lost on the 4, I don't even know which ones I did. I'm going to assume it was the 453s. I didn't write it down. And then after that, once I got confirmation that something's wrong here, I did nothing but look for shorts except for one time frame. So when B finally took out A's low, started shorting it, 456 puts. Nothing big at first. But then when it looked like we were going to have single prints, every push up, I was taking 100 lot put plays of the 456s. Did it again in C. Now C period actually filled singles and got above the opening. And I was like, in fact, I was like, okay, not thrilled about that. I actually started with 20, took a 50 lot and put on 100 right at C's high. And it came back down, made nice on the 100, small on the 50, and lost on the 20. Did nothing in D. I'm like, well, we're 4 for 4 wide. I said, we need a nuance. Well, boy, oh boy, was that it in E. E never could get to A's low. I took a 15 lot, not a big one at that point, and that was a beautiful nuance as E came down, made money on the 15, and then we took out the IB low again. But these trades, I was nailing them in B and C period on those 100 lots. Did it probably, I think, 4 times. I think once in C and 3 in B. Then in G. I did nothing in F. G period, more single prints we had, although they weren't looking like they were going to hold. Kept shorting. I wasn't shorting the lower the time frames. I shorted the ebb and flow, every push up. We had overlap in the lower value. We had the opening for sellers, overnight low, IB low, indices down. Everything was in favor of the sellers. So I made money on 455 puts. Now H period starts. And I told the room, look, we tried to go trend in B, failed. We tried to go trend in E, failed. F, failed. I'm like, these weak sellers at some point are going to give it up. So I played innovator. When H opened, I was like, I think we're going to finally stop the one-time framing. And that's the only other long I took. Took the 453 calls. I took a 30 lot. And boom, and it popped up and exploded up. I didn't hold them all the way to the high, but it turned out to be a very, very nice trade. Now, after that, I certainly missed an afternoon rally high. I thought we had maybe a better chance to get closer. I did tell the room this. I said, if the sellers give everything up and we go back to A's low and the POC's not lowered that much, what a failure by the sellers. I wasn't expecting that. But I got maybe a little greedy waiting for H to go maybe a little higher. A couple of people took it in the room. They took it right against H's low yesterday. Now let me show you something. You want to talk about market-generated information. Yesterday I couldn't wait to buy H's low because everything was in favor of the buyers. Remember I told you this morning that won't be the case? In fact, it turned out to be the opposite case. You should have taken a short there because everything was in favor of the sellers as long as we didn't get back to A's low. And look what it did. That was your afternoon rally high. At the time, it wasn't a textbook one. We didn't have singles, but we did go trend, so it is a textbook afternoon rally high. You don't think this MGI works? So I was a little upset I missed that short in H. I never got close enough to H is high, so I didn't take it. And then I shorted both L and M with the 453 puts. So it turned out to be an excellent day, and not even just P&L wise, right? P&L wise, it was excellent. But seeing the market, I couldn't have told you. I couldn't have been more honest with the room when we ran up in A and B. I'm like, I don't understand this. I don't understand how we opened down here after rejecting the price probe. I could see testing it. But not only did we test it, we took out yesterday's high in a heartbeat. We never do that in SPY and ES. Never. And then rip higher in B. But it looked too good to be true for that to be a short, even though these things were doing what they were doing. But it turned out to be an excellent day anyway. Destinations for tomorrow. 451.05, L's low. That's the base of the price probe. Then our single prints. M's high, 451.41 to K's low of 452.38. So 97-cent set of singles. Then our afternoon rally high, H is high, 454.67. And today's high of 457.83. Downside, 449.82, today's low. Weekly low, April 1st, 449.14, and I gave you a bunch of others to the downside last night. Now let's go to the chart. I'm just going to show you SPY, but don't forget Russell is now in balance on the weekly and down on the daily. We are still up on the weekly. We are teetering, but we held last week's low for now. So the weekly is still up. The daily is balance. It's a 4-day balance. We're using Thursday's high as the top of it. We're using Friday's low as the bottom of it. If we take out Friday's low tomorrow, well then the next big thing is going to be the 200-day moving average, which right now is at 447.78. Thanks for the likes and subscribing. Please check us out. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.